Hello, my name is Johnny. Welcome to another Marvel Character Talk. Today we're going to have a look through page by page the first Green Goblin and Amazing Spider-Man number 14. If you'd like, please subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, reply, and share. There's the cover here. Wow, just wait till you see the Green Goblin. Does the Green Goblin look cute to you? Does he make you want to smile? Well, forget it. He's the most sinister, most dangerous foe Spidey's ever fought. Guest starring none other than that rampaging powerhouse, the Incredible Hulk. No, you're not seeing things. These really are the evil enforcers. Back again to gang up on old web spinner. It's the back. Nice yellow background here on this 12 center. This one's probably about a 2.0. This is from 1964, cover date July. Let's take a look at the splash page here. Really nice. Stan Lee, poor man's Shakespeare. Steve Ditko, the poor man's Da Vinci. And Art Simic, the poor man's rich man. Note, the Hulk. Don't be impatient. The Hulk doesn't appear till later on in the story, but you'll be glad you waited. Only the merry Marvel man could dream this one up. A mighty Marvel masterpiece. I like that spider symbol there. The grotesque adventure of the Green Goblin. All right, let's just start here. So, of course, we wouldn't know he was Norman Osborn until issue 39, is it? Right after Ditko quit and Romita took over. And this one is the first and only appearance of his flying broomstick instead of his goblin glider. You'll have that in the next issue in 17. So we don't know who this is. And then we got in a sleazy hotel room not far away. Got the enforcers there. They were from Spider-Man 10. Always liked them. You got Fancy Dan in the middle there, Montana, and then Ox. Mentioned Spider-Man 10. So he's going to have them help. And then we've got this out in the movies. Hollywood Movies Studio. So Goblin's flying in here, going to make a deal. And there's stars of the day, Tony Curtis, one of the Beatles. Here he is in school. There's Liz Allen and Flash Thompson. He's always got to run away and become Spider-Man. So there's the first him seeing the Goblin. And then look at this. They're up in midair. The Goblin's just floating above that little stick. It doesn't make sense, but it's a comic book, so we like it. And there's Spider-Man there. Now they're both on it. So he's going to meet him. Fight the forces in the Green Goblin. He wants his $50,000. Wonderful things they can do for poor Aunt May. What if instead of living with a elderly, widowed aunt that was poor or barely middle class, however you want to think about back then, if he lived at least with a rich or upper middle class, he wouldn't have as many problems as Peter Parker. There's Jameson, there's Betty Brant. These early ones featured a lot of Betty Brant, and she was never a big character in the movies. And never worked for Jameson like this, and we never have Jameson in the movies now. So I think that's a big lacking. They've got a great actor to do Jameson, and they don't do enough with him. There he is here. How fragile you are. All right, he's got to get permission to go. Look at this page here. He can't tell that they're the real enforcers. Look at the goblin's ears. So out here, I like the desert. So they're in the desert area, so that's the Hulk stomping ground. Okay, let's rehearse the scene, and he's finally going to figure out. It's not a movie. Holy smoke. They really are the enforcers. I like that panel there. Closest they have to enforcers figures are in the Hero Clicks. They finally made the three of them. I wish they had them for the Mego, because they have the Mego Hulk and Spider-Man and Green Goblin. I'll leave a link to that in the end here. Gonna land that haymaker. Tripping them up. Borax can't land a blow, a nice square blow that he wants to. Not that it would be that bad for Spidey, because he's just a very strong human. Here's a throwing his explosives. You don't even really see that they're pumpkin bombs. I like this thing, the chest expansion. Here they go, hitting them high, hitting them low, trying to pound on them. We're going to get to the Hulk. There they go. Look, it's all that dust. That's a good one. Little hat's finally coming off a bit. He's there. Talking about Peter Parker and wasting his time dating those Hollywood glamour girls. So we got Spidey's going into this cave. It's neat with the, what is it, stalactites and stalagmites. And pushing that on there. Bah, I'm doing all the work. You're all just hanging on, says Ox. A neat panel, making it look semi-dark in here. So what's he do? He rounds these guys up one by one. There goes Ox. Spider strength love tap. Yep, finally they're gonna get to the Hulk. Stun bombs is what he's calling them. There he is there. Holy Hannah. And the Hulk is hiding in. Very cool. I like that panel. Of course, Ditko, they just reread those, come back, and when they bring the Hulk back into his own feature, half of the book, and Tales to Astonish, co-sharing with Giant Man, Ditko will do issues 60 through 67. So Ditko had a run on the Hulk. And he also did the last issue of Hulk, number 6, and he inked Kirby in Hulk number 2. So Ditko has an association with the Hulk. He's getting mad here. Spider-Man's not a weakling. Gives him a big whoop. Proportionate strength of a spider. And look at him. What'd you get for that? Hurts his hand. It just made him madder. All in all, this is a pretty good issue. Reprinted this in Marvel Tales, and sure it's in a lot of different trade paperbacks and so forth. Had one of these a long time ago, and then it didn't, so I wanted another one, so I got this one. See how long I can hold on to it. I like to keep this one a while. Yeah, so this is the only appearance really of the broomstick, unless way later they used it again. As far as I know, it was always the Goblin glider from them. I like this artwork. There he falls into the water, into the cavern. There's a nice ad here. We got Spider-Man guest starring in Tales to Astonish 57. And then we got another great one. I did a look at that cover there. The FF, first time meeting the X-Men. And then it's got the Mad Thinker, the Puppet Master. And I like that big clay-looking awesome android. Very cool. And that's one thing you need to be aware of, besides people cutting out pinup pages, especially if it wasn't affecting the story. Some kids would cut these pages out, the Marvel ads. So you're going to make sure that they're in there. Some sellers don't even know pages are missing. We've had a lot of dealings with problems where pages are missing and have to either return it or get a partial refund, or a hassle when people don't know what they're doing when they're selling things. There they are here. Looks cool when he's in blue into the water. Just going to go off. Rounding up the enforcers. And of course, Gabi got away. Here he is talking to the producer, BJ Cosmos. How can we make a Hulk sign a contract? Look at him. Can't use you anymore. Read the fine print. All he's going to get is his expenses to get paid back, to get back home. So it's a 22-pager. He's going to save some money by going back on the bus. Give Aunt May some of that money instead of taking the plane. There's the Goblin here. Flying broomstick. Never thought Spider-Man could defeat all three of them. Well, he kind of knew that the enforcers plus the big man were defeated by Spider-Man, plus a whole bunch of gangsters in there, so it wasn't too smart of Goblin thinking that they were invincible there. And stomping grounds. Can't think of everything. There's this hiding him there. So they drag out this mystery for a couple of years who this was going to be. And looks pretty cool, his mask there. Ditko did a good job of drawing masks that are loose and stuff. He had those around for like the chameleon. Green Rose where? So it would be 3 issues. The next issue will introduce Kraven in 15, and then in 16 he'll meet Daredevil and fight the Ringmaster of Crime, and then in 17 it'll be the return of Green Goblin, and also the Torch is in that. It's got the Spider's Web, got different folks writing in. Sometimes you can see someone of note wrote in, usually a future Marvel writer. And then on the next page, the letter page is continued, but it's also got the neat items here. Take a look at that. That special announcements section's always cool. Because they had this before. Later on, they'd have a whole page, what they call the bullpen bulletins page, and then the Marvel checklist. So they're talking about, they're going to have the Spider-Man annual. That's with the Sinister Six. And they have great pinups in that. Talking about Daredevil. So he's on number 2. There's that FF, the X-Men and everybody in there. Strange Tales, Doctor Strange, Human Torch. Thor is a good one. We got Cobra and Mr. Hyde, and then they've had the Tales of Asgard backup story in there. There's about Giant Man and Spider-Man and Astonish. And then Iron Man 55 features Return of the Mandarin. And had some 5-page bonus supplement, including a pinup of Pepper Potts. And then there also, they don't have time here to talk about Avengers, Sergeant Fury, the X-Men. Here we go here. Next time, co-stars Kraven the Hunter, a new, different type of arch-villain. And Stan and Steve have promised surprises by the bushelful. So be with us next issue, even if it's just to see fall on our faces. Till then, keep your webs untangled and stop winking at Aunt May. You're just not her type. And I have the 15, so in a future one, I don't think I've done a look-through. I'll do a page-by-page look-through of that, too, in the future, as time permits, as they say. Let's take a look at that cover again. Alrighty, another look-through in my Marvel character talk. Really love my Silver Age Marvel, where it all began, all the great villains and everything. Till next time, thanks for watching.